3, 2, 1.
Hi there. My name is Hannah Koen. I am 22 and a half years old and I live in Newburyport, Massachusetts. So what I'm going to try to make for you today is a quiche. So I love brunch. I love going to brunch with my girlfriends. So quiche is something that we eat almost all the time on the weekends. So I thought to myself, I think it's pretty easy to recreate. I'm going to use egg beaters because they're a little bit more healthy, and I like that they just are, see what color they are? They're just that yellow color that I think of when I think of eggs. So I go 1 egg, 2 egg, 3 egg. And then what I do, again, because my whole thing with cooking is how does it look? I'm not really so much into the how does it taste. As long as it looks like it could go on the cover of the magazine, I'm set with it. So I'm going to crack an egg. And I just want to use the yellow part. So I'm going to use get the shell and the boogie part and take it out. And you quickly get the yellow part and you kind of get that snot belly button thing. Oh my God, that's gross. All right, you put that in there. I think we need one more. Let's see, and then you open it. Ah! Whoa, I caught that. Did you see that? All right, so you put that in, and then we're good. This is my garbage bowl. I remember that from Rachel Rice. She taught me that. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to whisk it up. So I don't have a fork. Let me grab a fork. So I'm going to whisk it with a fork. See, it has that really nice yellow color. I don't think that's enough. I'm going to put in more egg beaters, because I need this to fill up my quiche tray. So this is, I don't know if there's a difference between a green onion and a scallion, but our next door neighbor, hi Marge, she gave us this plant that smells like an onion, but I think those scallions, like the one in Chinese food, they're really small. These are just giant, and they started growing all over the house. So what I do is I tear off little pieces of it and I put them in there. They kind of have like a oniony smell to it with like, I don't know, I can't describe it. It's almost like, I feel like it kind of smells like lemon. So again, it's like brunch, you know what I mean? It's all different types of brunch flavors. So I'll put that off, put that in there. See, that's the little bits of green that I see when I know when I have quiche. I feel like you always see green in the food, red in the food, which the red is going to be my paprika, and my tomatoes. So my paprika is right here. I put in like, I know this is kind of spicy, so you don't want too much. Probably like right there. And then I mix it up. That's the one thing I do. I don't taste as I go, but I make sure to mix as I go, because my whole thing is about the color. See, look at that. That looks like a real, you know what I mean? Just looks like something you'd get at a restaurant. Pepper, I know. I like pepper in my eggs, just because I like pepper. And this is that fancy kosher sea salt that you buy at the expensive part of the store. But the onions are they're not salty, but they have a lot of flavor, and I know salt is like flavor. So I just put in like, I don't know, just a little pinch, I guess. Mix that up. That looks good. Then now this is a real onion. Now I already went ahead and took the paper off because I know you can't eat that part. You just eat the white part. And I love the type of foods that have their own little houses that they come in, like a banana or an avocado or an onion that have their own little wrappings in them. There you go. So get a couple little pieces of onion. Go ahead and put that in there. I usually just tear it, but they said that I should use a knife, so that was me. All right, mix that up. Now, these are fun. These are olives. I love olives, and these are salty too. So I usually take not too many, and I just kind of crush them, and I just kind of break them up and put them in there. Again, it's just like specks of black that I feel like when you cut the quiche and you look at it like you cut it and you look at it from the side and you can see all these different like layers of like, you know, not peaches, but ooh, the onion is, I'm really sensitive to that onion eye thing. All right. What else do I have? Where's my red? I need my red. Oh, so these are tomatoes. This is a can. This is a can of tomatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. This can opener I got at a yard sale. This was, I swear this was 25 cents. My eyes. All right. So we go ahead and we open that up. And I don't want to use too much of this because it's really wet. But again, I just use it to kind of give it its flavor, its color. Oops. So you kind of gotta. Okay, this is garbage bowl. This isn't tomatoes. These are crushed tomatoes. So I thought these were the whole ones, but I don't know. I guess I'll put in like probably that much. Yeah, that one's good. Okay. Again, like I love tomato. I mean, the crushed tomatoes is kind of silly, but I love tomatoes. So you want to go ahead and throw them in there. And this is all breakfasty food. Like I think of when I go to a breakfast bar or when I go to a brunch, what type of foods would I see there? Right here, vegetable flakes. This is always good. I mean, my spice cabinet, take a look at my spice, if you can see it. I have the amount of spices that I have. Like, I am Spice Girl. Like, I would be Baby Spice if I was one of the Spice Girls, but that's another story. But I am the Spice Girl. So these are vegetable flakes in there. Look at how beautiful they are. You can put them in, I think you put them in, like, soups and stuff. And they're just all different flavors, and they're, like, textures and stuff. Yeah, they kind of smell just like soup, I feel like. So we're gonna put those in, and then I'm gonna give it one more mix. So from the olives, it kind of gave it a browny hue, like brown. So what I'm gonna do, and it doesn't add anything to the flavor, so sometimes I do it just because it makes it look a little better. This is just a little yellow food coloring. It doesn't taste like anything, so I add like 1, 2, maybe 3 drops, and just watch. It just makes the whole, see how much yellow, like now that's yellow. Like to me, now that looks like a quiche. Couple more spice, oh, right here. This is Dijon mustard. Again, just like my salt, something fancy from the expensive part of the store. You just go like that. Look they're almost like these little pearls. I think that's what mustard's made out of. I think that is, if that's whole grain mustard, I'm assuming maybe you just, you know, pop the seeds and that's how you get regular mustard. But again, I just like that you bite into it and you can almost, you know, you kind of have to pick those out of your teeth. You know what I mean? And then, okay, so I got that. This is rosemary, which when I smell it, rosemary to me, it almost smells like cookies. Like it smells like a baking type of thing, but I know you put it on chicken and things like that. So I usually like to add a little bit in to there. And then this is also nutmeg, which I think of it as like cinnamon is like the sweet one, and nutmeg is like if you want to go a little more savory. Now this is a trick. This is a family trick. My mom actually taught me this one. So I don't like milk. I don't like putting milk into my eggs. I think that they get really mucousy and it's like loogie and I just skeeve and I want no part of it. Like, no thank you. So what I do is I put in Coffee Mate, which is basically just powdered milk, like, you know, corn, syrup, solids, hydrogenated oil. Well, it's not quite just milk, but to me it acts just like that. It gives me the same consistency. So just, you know, just a little bit, nothing crazy. And I know that's silly and you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's so fake. It's really not. And all it does is it makes it lighter and airier, and you just have to mix it. And you want to get these bubbles and you get it kind of frothy. All right, and these are chives, but we already put in those green onions, so I don't think we need those. This is if I was to put garlic in. How I chop my garlic is I put garlic in this bag, pretend that this was my garlic, put it at the bottom of my bag, and then I get my mallet and then I smash it, and then you open the bag and there's garlic. All right, so now to assemble my quiche. what I have is, this is the crust of my quiche. Once again, like, we're all trying to be healthy. We're all trying to keep the weight down. Is I have these premium multi-grain wraps. These are made with 11 whole grains, which is, you know, that's awesome. So I put it down in my bowl. That's like the crust of my quiche. And I kind of crimp the sides and have it nice. And then what I do is I pour in our mixture, which, you know, it would be really good if we had like bacon or something like that, like turkey bacon. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna add one more. No, you know what? First I'm gonna do, these are cheese sticks. My mom is a school cafeteria, you know, like a lunch lady. So she brings home just oodles of these cheese sticks, so we have to find something to do with them. So we'll usually, you know, we just try to use them whenever we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of, what's that, the lattice it across the top like they do with apple pie. So I'm gonna do like a strip of cheese, and who doesn't love cheese? And I'm pretty sure this is low sodium string cheese or skim milk cream cheese. Pasteurized part skim milk. So there you go. All right, so I think one should be enough. I don't want to get crazy with it because, you know, look at that. That looks nice. And now I've also seen this in cooking shows also, is when they take an egg and right at the end, they crack it right on top. Just like that. And you know what? We're gonna hit that with a little bit of pepper, just ever so slightly. See, it just gives it that sheen. And then let's do a little of this fancy rich people salt. Just a couple flakes. Again, just things like this, I feel like make all the difference in the world. This is what's gonna get your Instagram post likes. This is what you're gonna do. Tiny bit of chives, because we don't want to put those big ones on. Like, shut the hell up. Do you see how good that looks? Are you kidding me? Now this is what I'm gonna do, because we know I ain't doing the oven, I ain't doing the stove. I don't like it. I've always had this issue with, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it in the oven, and you know, voodoo happens, and all of a sudden it cooks. I don't like it. I don't like shutting the door. Right in the microwave. And the microwave will help it puff up a little bit. So we're gonna take that here. Get a close up of that. Look at that. Do you see that? That looks just like something I had at brunch last weekend. So I'm gonna put it right in the microwave. Oh, that is. All right. So I'm gonna say if we have like 2 eggs in there, let's start it off at 3 minutes. And let's kind of see what happens. All right, so that's good with that. And I'm gonna clean up, and we're gonna come back when it's all cooked and it's all done, and I'll do a taste test, okay? All right, see you in a few.